Hey, imagine if we just told you, while in one part of the world someone is fishing right in the middle of a fire, and other people arrange mass dances at head, and somewhere in general they noticed a huge walking caterpillar made of caterpillars. Would you believe? It's good that all this was filmed on camera and got into our collection. It only remains to watch the video to the end. Go. How about to watch incredible power of electricity to carry out such experiments ourselves? Risky, scary, but the world has enough crazy guys. Well, now listen, how does a stick sound like closing the line with voltage of 35 kilovolts? Oh, it looks like we accidentally opened here some kind of spatio-temporal portal. Time for serious questions. Who do you think will be faster on the highway, a cyclist or a guy on a wheelchair, a stroller mounted on a skateboard? If you think we are kidding, then just look what this buddy is doing. It's impossible to even imagine how scary. And it's hard to balance at that speed, but not in the case of Evil. The guy, although he cannot walk, but in extreme sports a real pro. You can estimate the level of his skill by these frames. And you thought we were going to warn you? No, feel yourself in the place of this reporter Fox. On the other side, guy made a story about a storm with a thunderstorm that struck to Arizona, so that a lightning strike was to be expected. Luckily it's over, only a power outage in the area. Well, now just take a look at this situation. Stop, confused this one, but you must admit the atmosphere is practically the same and the same. Really, is it worth paying attention to some kind of fire when biting is in full swing and the birds are singing so well? Well, for clarity, a different angle. Wildfire is still far from this Belarusian daredevil. At least 3 perches in time you can catch it. If you are a lover unpredictable endings, next shot's just right for you. The author of the video cuts tree at a decent height. It starts fall in the wrong direction it was planned, and 3 seconds of a pause, so that you tried to guess the denouement, stuck into the ground like an arrow. Maybe it just decided to grow again? Football was invented in a country called Foggy Albion, but this report is not from there. So it went a recent game between Russian clubs. We think in this match everyone acted at random. Football players just tossed the ball away to other people's gates. Commentator invented dangerous moments and the fans just in case periodically shouted goal. Listen, it would have failed. Bad news show. What do you think? But what's in fact can be called strange spectacle. A couple of guys from China are mining fish like in some Minecraft, and even with such screams. In fact, the river became shallow and frozen. Fishermen in the ice trap, and the guys really only had to get at her, but it is hardly suitable for. Here a contender for the title of the most tagged slingshot in the Wild West. Well, more precisely, in the East. Take a look what is doing this Chinese Top Gun. Worthy of slow-mo, admit it. Well, in case if you suddenly didn't believe your eyes. We said today that we won't warn. There are guesses. What happened? The guy with the slingshot is not here. Moreover, they urgently clear the mountain roads from stone rubble. Imagine how long will it take to arrive heavy equipment, and so you can just press the button. And at least 1 row of cars can move. Have you ever seen how a person spinning on your head? Okay, and 2 people, and 100? Well, enjoy. These breakdancers from Kazan, by the way, set a world record for mass torsion on the crown. What strange competitions in the world does not exist? Agree. In the animal world there are also guys whose dexterity you can only to envy. We are all cats walking on fences accustomed to, but creeping on thin boards with all my offspring on my back. Mom possum, it's a whole different level. Would you be able to take even a step along the fence with a couple of children on their shoulders? And here they are. Yes, if you can count the exact number, write in the comment. Here's a harder task for you. Try to count the number of caterpillars in the sponge. We guarantee that you are not so alive. I saw, and if I did, I would immediately run for flamethrower. In fact, caterpillars form. The so-called rolling swarm is not in order to frighten us, as if surprisingly it sounded like that in a bizarre way they just move faster than individually. But sometimes the strange behavior of our smaller brothers, devoid of any logic. They just do whatever they want. Like this one, a bear who imagines himself to be a Shaolin monk. Impressive technique? These are certainly not nunchucks, but everything looks equally impressive. Now let's raise look higher to the nearest palm tree. An unexpected turn, agree? It seems the goat herself already understood what she had chosen some wrong mountain. Descending is always more difficult than climbing to the top. Let's hope she did it. Unlike the previous couple, this snake does not engage in nonsense at all. Here we are actually in full swing preparing for flight. If you suddenly didn't know, snakes cannot gain adhesion to the fleece blanket, and she turns into real for them treadmill. So if you're the hissing pet got fat, you know what to do. In Daytona Beach, was spotted here such a reckless driver. Okay, can the driver just didn't notice any warning signals? Well, rather, he deliberately closed his eyes to them. There is a version that the guy just dreamed. Repeat your favorite video game trick in real life. Never mind, better tell me if you heard anything about the existence of a combat squadrons of wild geese in Chinese the Air Force? For a long time, information about her was completely classified and only to us managed to get unique shots, but what if seriously, it's really interesting that made the bird so epic to accompany boat? However, there is one suggestion. Guys just decided to use the air currents created by it and save energy. What happened? Nice. But this guy is not in a situation most ordinary. He complains that already a woodpecker pisses him off for several weeks, settled on the plot of his neighbors. What is the problem? And the fact that the bird loves to hang on a satellite dish, well, periodically behaves like a woodpecker. It turns out that the tenants themselves do not bother knocking and noise on the TV, so maybe this buddy is actually something is adjusting? Is it possible to be extremely focused and serious and at the same time to be playful and cheerful? But this one a friend is clearly working out. Why not play while watching the birds, so more that it only needs an ear? But can your pet do that? Do you think this baby looks so enthusiastically before going to bed some Disney cartoon or Pixar? No matter how, we have a fan here, harsh gangster hip hop. Look into her eyes. We think better dispense with unnecessary questions and move further. You, too, is a rodeo on a toy alpaca seems strange? Imagine that feel when looking at such a sight, real animals. Poor fellow, it seems seriously worried about their friend. No one had done this to them before. I want to believe that they eventually revealed deception. Among all the guys involved cargo transportation, this guy is probably the most desperate in the world. Seriously, this is how his working days go by, at least for an offer to help. He replied that he does such tricks for 6 years already. Do you think deliver the wardrobe to skate on his strength? Of course, we could not forget in today's selection about cats, especially that we have not just a cat here but a real one, master of kung fu. Shaolin bear we already appreciated. Now look at this blow. But the spirit still needs a friend, train and train. Look what's wrong with he made ordinary smoke. See you soon.